这就是封魔灭神脚。黑纹石柱碰见，
越是靠近，你这冲击也越为可怕。
是银翼领主罗峰，他竟能飞到这里。
Hello guys, welcome to the Alrasta channel to discuss and explain the exciting storyline of your favorite series, SwallowedStar episode 234. In the previous episode, Luofeng and his master Zuo Shanke entered an ancient ruin where Luofeng witnessed illusions of the past from ancient carved walls. Luofeng then left his clone behind to study the mysterious diagram carvings, while his real body went to investigate a massive battle outside with his master. There, Jin Huang, the golden monster, was fighting against the third true master and sixth true master of the Divine Eye clan, who accused him of stealing a treasure. After the huge axe creator showed up, he calmly faced the Divine Eye clan's threats, prompting the enemies to combine their treasures to create a terrifying giant monster called the Eternal True God. However, the huge axe creator easily deflected the monster's soul attack and countered with his 12th axe technique using his supreme true treasure. This devastating clash successfully pushed the monster back, forcing the enemies to deploy 3 of their supreme true treasures simultaneously to buff the Eternal True God. So, what happens next? Alright, without further ado, let's jump right into the story. After the third true master and sixth true master combined the 3 supreme true treasures and attached them to the Eternal True God's body, the monster underwent a rapid and terrifying transformation, with its entire body becoming coated in purple armor. During this transformation, the monster's original 9 heads merged into just 4, and its 4 arms fused into 2. With a single swing of its claws, the monster tore through the void of space, creating a boom so loud it shook its opponent's soul. Meanwhile, the huge axe creator once again activated his 12th technique with his divine axe. Instantly, 12 giant axe phantoms merged into one, creating a powerful strike to parry the Eternal True God's claws. When the 2 attacks collided, space immediately cracked, and the entire battlefield exploded. But unlike before, thanks to the Eternal True God's transformation and the buffs from the 2 opponents, the monster managed to push the massive axe back and land an incredibly powerful claw attack that tore a massive rift in space. To stop this deadly assault, the huge axe creator unleashed his 13th, 14th, and 15th techniques back-to-back from his divine axe. Starting with the 13th technique, the attack summoned 10 axe phantoms that merged into one to create a domain attack, plunging the entire battlefield into total darkness and instantly wiping out the enemy's claw attack. He followed it up with the 14th technique. With a vertical slash, the monster was knocked back so hard it tore through dimensions, leaving a pretty severe wound on its body. Not stopping there, the huge axe creator then unleashed his newest and most lethal move, the 15th technique. As this slash was executed, a glowing red giant axe phantom formed in the middle of the darkness, creating the illusion of another world containing the manifestation of a supersized divine axe. This terrifying yet incredible sight even made Zuo Shanke stand up from his seat, completely shocked to see that the huge axe creator had mastered the treasure's technique by understanding the secret carvings hidden within his divine axe. It wasn't just his master. Luofeng was totally mesmerized seeing this colossal axe attack, which looked as if the axe was breaking out from another world. The axe was so massive that even fighters outside the 12 Abysses area could see its manifestation. To stop the huge axe creator's attack, the 3rd True Master and 6th True Master channeled all their power into the Eternal True God's body to block the incoming strike. When the Eternal True God's body collided with the axe, it forcefully separated the enemy's 3 supreme true treasures, and the monster was sliced completely in half before its body vanished without a trace. This absolute victory left Zuo Shanke amazed by the potential of the human race. Meanwhile, The third and sixth true masters had to swallow their pride and accept defeat after watching the huge axe creator's attack obliterate the eternal true god. They realized that his power was now almost on par with Ancestor Yuan. Feeling on top of the world, the huge axe creator asserted his dominance and mocked the Divine Eye clan, who had previously dared to threaten the human race with extinction. Now, he was going to teach his enemies a lesson so they wouldn't dare mess with humanity again. Wasting no time, he geared up to launch his next attack, causing the panicked third and sixth true masters to turn tail and run. Just as the huge axe creator was about to give chase, the third true master unleashed his domain treasure, the Star Country technique, to stall for time. However, the huge axe creator effortlessly shattered the domain technique and zoomed toward the enemy's position. The third true master realized that his domain type Supreme True Treasure couldn't hold back or even slow down the huge axe creator, whose speed was surging to tens of thousands of times the speed of light. In a desperate bid to escape, the two enemies deployed a palace-type treasure, intending to bunker down inside it. But the huge axe creator quickly caught up, threatening to seal the flying palace with his palm, which had expanded to a massive 1 million kilometers across. After locking down the enemy's movements, the huge axe creator's hand suddenly sprouted axe phantoms on all 5 of his fingers. Knowing that hiding inside the flying palace would just leave them trapped like sitting ducks, the third true master told the sixth true master to take shelter inside his miniature universe, while he chose to face the huge axe creator directly to negotiate. Here, the third true master openly admitted defeat, not wanting to escalate the situation into a full-blown race war. Even though he acknowledged his strength was no match for the huge axe creator, the third true master politely and respectfully asked him to stop the pursuit. Hearing this, the huge axe creator agreed to his enemy's proposal, but on one condition: he had to hand over his 3 pinnacle true treasures. In exchange, the huge axe creator would let them both go, and the hostility between the Divine Eye clan and humanity would be considered settled. However, if this condition wasn't met, the huge axe creator threatened to follow through with his axe technique and come slaughter the Divine Eye clan's fighters just to practice his moves, using them as stepping stones to boost his own power. Wanting to survive and left with no other choice, the third true master immediately handed over the 3 pinnacle true treasures to the huge axe creator, said his goodbyes, and left his 3 treasures in the hands of the human race's ruler. This treasure handover was witnessed from afar by the true gods, including Jinhuang and Zuoshanke. The huge axe creator then approached the 2 of them and asked them to keep this incident a secret. In response, both Zuoshanke and Jinhuang promised to keep their mouths shut. As for the Divine Eye clan, given their humiliating defeat, there was no way they were going to spread the news of this embarrassing event themselves. After making sure the 2 true gods in front of him would keep the secret, the huge axe creator blasted off, tearing through the sky. Long story short, inside Zuoshanke's flying mountain, which was heading toward the exit of the deep abyss, sat Luofeng's star tower. Luofeng was currently lost in thought, quietly reflecting on the battle he had just witnessed. His master asked him what was making him so anxious. Previously, Luofeng had seen true gods fighting in the original universe, but because of the original universe's laws suppressing their power, he had never truly known a true god's actual strength. Out here in the universe ocean, however, the true gods fought freely without any restrictions. In his current state of anxiety, Luofeng seemed to doubt his own abilities, having just realized the massive gap between himself and the true gods fighting in the universe ocean. Seeing his disciple looking so unsure of his strength, Zuoshanke explained the complex relationship between the original universe entity and its inhabitants. A fighter is basically like a child being protected until they reach the true god level. But once a fighter reaches that level, their miniature universe, which started as a god country rooted in the original universe, automatically separates to stand on its own. Once they become a true god, they become an independent entity and automatically turn into a target of hostility for the original universe, much like what happened to Ancestor Yuan, who is currently still sealed. However, Luofeng's question about Ancestor Yuan's courage to challenge the original universe in the past wasn't answered in detail by Zuoshanke, who suggested he just ask him directly once he got strong enough in the future. Then, his master handed over the newly repaired Crazy Demon Extermination Godly armor to Luofeng. Wasting no time, Luofeng immediately fused the armor's scales to wear it as armor for his earthling body. Seeing his disciples still looking uneasy, Zuo Shanke cheered Luofeng up by explaining that the gap in power levels could be bridged by using supreme true treasures like the Star Tower. The master advised him to study the secret carvings found inside the Star Tower. If Luofeng could master them perfectly, then by the time he broke through to the Universe Master level, he would be able to activate high-level secret techniques with power rivaling that of a true god. However, there was a catch. This only applied if the true god opponent didn't have a supreme true treasure and relied solely on their combat techniques. After both flying palaces successfully made it out of the frozen lake fire region, the master expressed his hope that his disciple would fulfill his expectations in the future. Luofeng bowed in deep gratitude to his master before the two parted ways, zooming off in different directions. For his next adventure, Luofeng decided to wear the extermination godly armor without his Shu Wo wings, to avoid raising any suspicions about his connection to Zuo Shanke. This way, the rumors spreading about his earthling body and his treasures being lost wouldn't be doubted by anyone else. For the rest of the journey, Luofeng focused his mind on studying the secret carvings of the crazy demon extermination's godly armor. Over the next few hundred years, Luofeng studied the secret diagram carvings left behind in the ancient ruin and fought numerous fighters in the Universe Ocean to deepen his understanding of the secret carvings, eventually reaching the very limits of the Universe Master level. After a perilous 620-year journey through the Universe Boat and testing his strength in various life and death battles, Luofeng finally arrived at his destination, the space of the black-striped stone pillars. Aside from coming here to train, Luofeng also wanted to check out the space tied to the black token previously dropped by the 5 Chaos Master. Arriving in front of a palace, Luofeng looked around and saw a massive area supported by 16 black stone pillars standing thousands of light years tall. Not only that, but this place was a favorite hangout spot for powerful fighters in the Universe Ocean to rest and forge themselves to boost their willpower. Not long after, Luofeng was startled by a bird-like creature named Yanying Master, who suddenly popped up from behind him. Even though this bird creature wasn't human, his race had ties to the Hongmeng Alliance, and he held the position of Palace Master within the organization. As a Tier 4 Universe Master, he was genuinely surprised to bump into Luofeng, who was from the same alliance. Such random encounters were considered super rare in the vastness of the Universe Ocean. Taking this opportunity, Yanying Master offered to show Luofeng around and introduce him to the different areas of the black-striped stone pillars. Yanying Master explained that every pillar here was etched with ancient carvings that emitted a ridiculously overwhelming soul willpower pressure, making this place perfect for forging one's soul strength and willpower. Yanying Master also warned him that if Luofeng couldn't handle the willpower pressure, he could just ask for help. But this was exactly what Luofeng was looking for. His main goal here was to use the intense pressure of the stone pillars to test just how strong his soul and willpower really were. As the two flew past one of the pillar's peaks, a few meditating Universe Masters recognized Yanying Master and noticed Luofeng flying by. In their conversations, they brought up the rumors about the massive battle between Luofeng and the 5 Chaos Master that went down 600 years ago. Weirdly enough, after the two were reported dead in the 12 Abysses, nobody had a clue who ended up taking the Silver Wings treasure and the crazy demon extermination godly armor. On his way toward the tallest pillar, Luofeng spotted several floating palaces, also known as space chambers. These were known to be secret rooms that could only be opened with a specific black token acting as the key. At this point, Luofeng still didn't know which secret chamber belonged to the 5 Chaos Master that linked up with the black token key he currently had on him. As they got closer to the center of the tallest stone pillar, the enlightenment and willpower pressure became increasingly mind-blowing. Yanying Master was absolutely dumbfounded seeing Luofeng remain perfectly calm without showing a single sign of soul strain. He couldn't help but wonder, how could Luofeng, who had been training for a relatively short amount of time, possess such insane soul endurance? A little while later, they noted that the area they were currently passing through had a time acceleration 200 times faster than the outside world, while the spot Yanying Master usually used to train his willpower had a time acceleration of around 1,000 times. Giving him a heads up on the next levels, Yanying Master explained that there was a true god training here who had supposedly reached an area with over 13,000 times time acceleration. That figure was known as Beiqi Star Master, a true god from the first reincarnation era famous for being super friendly and generous. Beiqi Star Master would even openly share his cultivation insights with others. Another true god in the area was the rampaging devil god, also known as Heng Xing Devil God. This true god was known to be incredibly terrifying with highly erratic mood swings. Upon reaching the area with 1,000 times time acceleration, many of the Universe Masters training there were shocked to see Luofeng flying around so casually, completely unfazed by the pressure. Shortly after, Luofeng arrived at Yanying Master's usual training spot. Seeing that Luofeng could handle the willpower in this area, the bird guy was seriously impressed by Luofeng's soul strength, but unfortunately, this was as far as he could guide him. To move on to the next level, Luofeng would have to go it alone. Ultimately, Luofeng said his goodbyes and thanked Yanying Master for showing him around. When Luofeng reached the zone with 1,500 times time acceleration, a mysterious figure from an alien race was stunned to see him easily passing through the area. As he pushed past the 2,300 times mark and approached the 3,000 times time acceleration zone, the willpower pressure became so intense that Luofeng could no longer handle it. Since this was his absolute limit, Luofeng figured that this spot right at the 3,000 times time acceleration mark was the perfect place for him to train and forge his willpower. However, not too far from there, a Universe Master fighter from the Divine Eye clan immediately noticed Luofeng's presence. This Tier 5 Universe Master was known as the Clear Eye Master, or also referred to as Jingyan Master. Luofeng was fully aware of the danger Clear Eye Master posed. This prominent figure from the Divine Eye clan was a disciple of the first True Master, and was classified as a Tier 5 Universe Master. Unlike the 5 Chaos Master who relied on physical attacks, Clear Eye Master was a highly feared master of illusions and soul attacks. Using her special treasure called the Clear Light Mirror, she could trap an enemy's consciousness in the blink of an eye. Taking advantage of this opportunity with Luofeng right in front of her, Clear Eye Master planned to avenge her 2 fallen comrades by unleashing her treasure's technique on Luofeng. The clear extermination of reincarnation, aiming to crumble Luofeng's consciousness into dust. Well, will Luofeng be able to withstand her soul attack? To find out, let's wait for the next episode. Alright, thanks for watching until the very end, and don't forget to keep supporting this channel by leaving a comment, dropping a like, and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, bye.
应该不会有人